All right, everyone. Hello. Welcome back. Connor, welcome back as well.
Thank you, Scotty. How have you been?
I've been well, and we're coming Saturday lunchtime or around 2 o'clock Sydney time, guys. So we apologize for that, but it's probably a good thing because we can really dissect the charts a little bit and see how the week was. Episode 83 as well. Look, Connor and I were talking off air, prepping for the video about the Aussie dollar. So, Connor, I've got the weekly chart up here with the trend line drawn in. And I mean,
Yeah.
what would you have to see here to take a trade, for example, like next week? Would you
I
potentially,
wouldn't have to. I wouldn't have to see much, Scotty.
yeah,
If you look on the 4 hour, it's already starting to. There's already been a bit of a breakout that I could have almost put a box around. However, it's just a little bit, more of a downtrend that I would like.
yeah, yeah,
But I mean, all the fundamentals, as we've been talking for the Aussie dollar, are going downwards. If you look at the monthly, it's really starting to get towards territory of, around about March 2015 when it was reaching,
wow. Look at the,
60, around about the 69 cent. I can see it getting below 70 cents, within the next
oh yeah, look
month
at
or
that.
so. And this is like we've been talking in the past. This is due to, well, the Aussie dollar and China are the two, that China is one of our biggest trading partners.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
because of the current trade war at the moment with the US or with Trump, we're suffering. We're getting some residual sort of suffering from
yeah,
that. See, Trump, what happened was it was a great political stunt where when we just had Malcolm Turnbull in power, may he rest in peace, he was able to negotiate a trade deal that we wouldn't get our commodities, our materials, we wouldn't get the aluminum or aluminium tax put on us.
yeah.
However, we sell our raw materials to China.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
China makes it and sends it to the US, so we're just getting a tax on us by proxy anyway. And you can see that in the charts. And the Aussie dollar is pegged strongly to, or is correlated strongly to gold. And I don't know if you have a gold chart with you, but if you look at gold, that's going nowhere at the moment. It's still hanging around the 1200 range, I believe. Yeah, I think so.
I'm just going to try and find it now. I did have it up before. It's in my list. Because you're right. Like, for who would do, yeah, I do. I've got the daily up now. Yeah, oh, yeah, there we go. You're right. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah, it's like 12. I think it's 1202 I've got. So
Yeah.
it's hanging around that at the moment. So anything, and of course you've seen with the data for our housing market is looking pretty dismal at the moment.
Yes. I think dismal's the way to sort of, and the problem is plenty of room to sort of go because I think especially in Sydney and Melbourne it just went through the roof at one point with how so fast it rose because everyone was buying up and a lot of Chinese investors.
We've had what they call a bubble in the housing market for Australia for a long time, between 25 to 30 years at least, they've been saying. So we can either watch our dollar depreciate with inflation going up, or we can put interest, Australia, the RBA can put interest rates up and watch people default on their loans and have to close the banks down, which will destroy our dollar. So at the moment, because we had the Royal Commission into the banks, and they've heavily over leveraged with their loans, and they haven't been strict and done their due diligence. They're in a bit of trouble. They're having to stop with because we've got. I mean, if interest rates go up in Australia, those who don't know, a massive amount of people have variable loans.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not really. They were offering really cheap money, and everyone's taken variable loans. Fixed rate loans aren't that common, or we've got other problems with interest only. So people
Yeah.
are banking. Interest-only loans means people are banking on their property going up. Like that's the only reason they've bought property as an investment to go up, and sooner or later, the chickens come home to roost. So
That's right.
that's my fundamental analysis of the Australian dollar. I can just see it going further down. You may get a little bit of a correction, but in that, you can see on the technical analysis, especially if you put it onto the daily chart, it's really working within that steep band going downwards.
Oh, it is. Oh, good. Yeah, it is. Like you said, it probably if it's following the pattern on the daily, especially guys, you might see it rally a little bit, but it's making lower lows. The weekly
may work its way back up to 72 cents, 72.2.
Yeah.
Like just on the technical analysis, but I can't see it getting towards 73.5 or anything like that. You've got that nice. I don't know if you've got it on your chart, but you've got a nice sort of juicy kangaroo tail that's poked through and then hit back, decided to go back down through the trend line.
Yeah. Look at that. Goodness me, that's wow. Yeah. The weekly and the monthly really summarize the appetite pretty well for the mainstream feel on this with like the trading community, because the monthly is pretty epic, really. Wow.
Yeah, so we're not doing well. We're not doing well in the global market with the trade war going on.
No.
Our domestic market's not doing too well, with people losing complete faith in the housing market here. The Australian construction performance fell to I think it fell to 49%. From it was at 51.8%. It's fallen to 49.3%. There's and also to the new building new houses. That market's fallen substantially too. I don't have the actual numbers on me, but that's fallen the last couple of quarters. So I don't see it looking too well for our domestic market either.
No, I've just got to go just quickly, Connor. I'm going to pause the recording here. I'll be back in one second. All right, so Connor, we've gone into some fundamentals to appease the fundamental guys out there and girls, and specific entry now. So I've got the 4-hour time frame up here, guys, on the Aussie dollar. Now, looking at the previous 4-hour candle, so this is, would that be, looking at that, is that a big shadow to you, or is it not?
Yes, it is. By definition, it's a big shadow. It's not near resistance that I would like it. I actually missed my great move down, which was at around about, there was a big bearish shadow that turned up around about 72,190 and closed at about 717. So I missed that move.
Look at that, yeah. I see that. Yeah, nice. Yeah.
But I mean, for someone like you with your trading style, you'd be really looking at that bit.
Big
shadow, wouldn't you?
I would be. So if you're thinking to yourself, what are you guys talking about? It just pretty much means an engulfing candle. So what we're seeing is it engulfs the previous candle, and it's trending as well. And it's not too close to the resistance level at 69.60 that I've got here as well, that Connor and I sort of discussed about previously before we started recording. So an entry here, you'd be looking at pretty much the low. So I would go, let's say the Aussie dollar normally has like at the worst a 2-pip spread. So you might just +2 just for the spread. So you're looking at an entry of 70.40 or so, 70.40. And then the stop loss. Now, the stop loss is interesting. This is to do with how you've tested things and whatnot. It's either just above the high. Now, you have to sort of realize, Connor and I were discussing this now, using the daily as a reference point, how it has been behaving. So it's due for potential push higher, just with how it's been behaving, because it's fallen so much. You're going to get people coming in, looking at this as a bit of a value buy for a quick reversal. So you might find yourself getting stopped out there. But I mean, if you can have another go at it and everything, but it's more the psychology of the thing. Like if you can tolerate quickly getting stopped out. That could be the issue. Or for me, I have the stop up at the 55 simple moving average, which would be around 71.85. And then it's a set and forget type thing until it moves to 2% in my favor. Then I move it just past break even. And then from there, like kind of you've experimented with different sorts of trailing exits, and that's what I've been looking at. I've done a bit of back testing. I've, taken it into the live account, obviously, but definitely practice a lot on back testing because you do it a little bit differently. Let's say, like, if you got in, you were just talking about where you would potentially have sold the Aussie dollar, but you missed the opportunity. So let's say you took that. How would you proceeded with managing the stop loss, for example, with that trade?
Yeah, so I would have put it, just say hypothetically, hindsight's 2020. I would have put it at just above where the bearish sort of candle was. I would have put it at like 72.4, and then every lower low, I would have put it just above that. So I probably would have just moved it above this bearish big shadow here.
Yeah.
This is probably a shame. This turned up when my computer busted.
I think so. I was going to say, because that makes a lot of sense, because I was sending you stuff as well and you were having the computer issues. So it is unfortunate, but it looks like that the Aussie dollar has a lot more downside potential. So for people thinking to themselves, trends are, not happening and whatever, I would say it looks to be that it could be the perfect storm for the Aussie to sort of sink to potentially 2008 lows. Like, we go to 2008, the low there got to like 60 cents, like 60.72. So because if it breaks down really through here, there's a lot of room to go to the next support level. So it's an interesting little trade idea, at least. So because there's not really much else. Like you mentioned the Euro Swiss economy, but obviously that's gone now. But there's not really much going on. Like you said, gold and silver we were talking about earlier in the week you were watching, but it's not really done too much, has it?
It's not doing it against the US dollar. It's going up against the Australian dollar, obviously. So, you could use a hedge. You could hedge against that if you wanted, and buy gold on the gold Aussie dollar or silver on the silver Aussie. Yeah, it's not doing a lot on the US pairs at the moment.
That's true. Yeah. So we are gonna. I just saw the time there. We're having such a good time. I lost track of the time, but so that's really the main theme of the video, guys. So it looks like the Aussie dollar is, I'm probably be getting into this next week. More updates to come, but I think that's probably the end of the video. Connor, any sort of final words? I think the hedging idea was very good as well. So that could be final words on that, or that's about it.
Look, I hit the nail on the head this time, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just got a real bearish outlook for the Aussie dollar at the moment. I can't see it making its way back up to 80 at any time soon.
No, that's it's gonna have to take a miracle.
I'm thinking that at the most it's kind of going to get to about maybe back up to 72 or 72.9 or something, and then make its way back down.
Yeah,
I've been wrong before.
That's right. So guys, you have to be willing to accept a little bit of that. So if you sell it straight away, have in the back of your mind that you could be caught in a bit of a retracement, but if not, it goes down and, all the shorts sort of have a good time. But I think that's the video, guys. Again, thank you for watching. And Connor, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, everyone, and bye for now.